What a day to be a Kings fan. We are basking in the afterglow of the Kings season opening domination of the Jazz. We're doing that with your help all day long today, and we're doing it with the guy who called the Kings win last night for us on NBC Sports California, Kyle Draper. Kyle, what a way to start the season.
Unbelievable, right? I'm going to be honest, fans out there, listeners. I was worried about this Sacramento Kings team going into game one. I was worried. Oh, that's my computer. I was like, Jay Johnson, is that you back there? I had some things. I was like, we got amateur hour over here, Jay. You're a veteran, bro. That's my bad. That was my computer.
Last night. No worries.
I'm a little tired, sleep deprived, but no, I was worried. I didn't like the preseason, obviously, some of the body language, but they brought it last night. And I tell you what, right from the opening tip, they went up 7-0 on the Jazz. The crowd was never a factor. And I don't know if you could have had a better start for the Kings than what we saw last night.
What you just spoke of, I noticed that too. We were talking about it yesterday, and it was great to see the intensity from the Kings from the start of the game. And I don't just mean defensive intensity or the physicality. There was a focus there that had been lacking for a lot of the preseason. And it was just it was reassuring to see, okay, this is the Kings team that we saw last season.
Yeah, and, I know we're still a young team, a number of young guys that haven't had a whole lot of postseason success. And so, what we saw last night was a team that said, all right, the lights are on. It's showtime, and they came and they flipped the switch. And so I was encouraged to see that, and not just the starters. I thought the bench played great. We'll talk about that coming up next in Drapes Takes. But overall, Mike Brown had to be happy with what he saw. Obviously, he didn't talk about basketball afterwards because of everything going on in Maine, because I did want to ask him about some of the defensive lapses. And so from a coach's standpoint, I felt like yesterday was perfect because as great as you were offensively, there were still some things that he could point out defensively and get on his team about today at practice.
Dwayne Baker on the chat points out that the Kings didn't want to start this season the way they did last season. They certainly played that way. It was just great to see the Kings get off to such a great start. And I mentioned on Twitter today, Kyle, that if the Kings had brought in Pascal Siakam or Kyle Kuzma or Jeremy Grant or a bigger name forward this offseason, and that player had the night last night on opening night that Harrison Barnes had, Kings fans would be ready, right, to commission a statue of that player because he was incredible last night.
100%, Whitey. And here's the thing about Harrison Barnes. When he hit his first 10 shots, he was 10 of 11 at one point, 27 points
and the first
in the first half.
Was like a 3-footer.
Right. Yeah, the miss was a 3-footer right near the rim. And so, to me, when I see 33 points from Harrison Barnes last night, all those haters out there, all those people that say, oh, why'd they bring him back? 3 years, $54 million. We should have went and got Siakam. We should have went and got OG or so. Shut up. Harrison Barnes set the tone last night for this Sacramento Kings squad. He brought it, and that's what a veteran does. HB was the player of the game. He got the defensive player of the game chain as well. So it wasn't just an offensive explosion for him. He did it on both ends of the court.
I thought it was interesting to see what the newcomers brought to the party last night. I mean, JaVale McGee is bringing back the skyhook.
He looked like Kareem out there, right?
He honestly did.
He really did, and he was tremendous, and I thought the entire bench was great. But JaVale McGee, just his compete level, trying to block shots. He got called for goaltending one time. I thought that was kind of a questionable call. But that running skyhook that he did, man, that's something we haven't had. I'm talking about a big outside of Sabonis who could do something like that. We have added elements on this team, and JaVale McGee, he's going to be in the rotation. He's going to be a guy, and I think, he's perfect for this team. Defensively, obviously, shot clock winding down. He didn't, look like a chicken with his head cut off or anything. He calmly sank that running jump hook. It was awesome.
That was really nice to see because 2 years ago, he had a great year for the Suns. Last year, the Mavs bring him in, and they didn't play him. And, you couldn't help but wonder on some level, what happened? Did he just fall off the table? Is he old now? What are the Kings getting here? But last night, that was closer to the guy that we saw a couple years ago in Phoenix, and that player can definitely help you.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know what happened in Dallas, but clearly Jason Kidd didn't, see a spot for JaVale McGee. JaVale and Mike Brown's relationship, don't understate that. those two are close. They understand each other. JaVale, everything I've seen, too, is he's a professional. He comes in, he works. He's not a malcontent, and he can help a ball club. And I'm glad they went out and signed him. Remember, he was a late signing. He was very late. We thought it would be Nerlens Noel or somebody like that. But JaVale McGee, man, he looks good in the Kings uniform. And I think, I always say, when you look at a team, like, for instance, last night was the Harrison Barnes game. It'll be a JaVale McGee game, too, where he gets 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 or 4 blocks. And we're like, oh, my gosh, this guy is great. And so I think, when you look at this Kings team, their depth is much better this year than it was a season ago.
I thought it was very curious that Utah played as much zone as they did.
My
and
gosh.
I know they do that, but when something's not working, all right, we're going to play zone again. That's almost like they weren't trying.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest head scratcher of the night. After the game, I'm down in the tunnel talking to a few people from the Kings staff, and the first thing we said was, why the heck they stick with that zone so much?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Kings were picking it apart. I mean, Sacramento hit, 19 threes, shot 37%, and it wasn't just the threes. In the second half, the Harrison Barnes, Domantas Sabonis high-low game was working as well.
They were ready for it.
They were ready for it.
And they were executing.
Right, exactly. And to me, I'm a believer that if you go zone, that must mean you can't guard man-to-man, right?
Right.
But they couldn't do either yesterday. The Kings picked them apart right from the opening tip.
Yeah, they should have switched up because what they were doing wasn't working. To me, you play a lot of zone in the NBA sometimes. It's kind of a change-up. And sometimes it's weird because you'll see an NBA team and they're playing well, and all of a sudden, they face a zone, and it's almost like they forget that they've ever seen a zone before as a changeup. Last night, the Kings were totally prepared for that. It was totally ineffective, but Utah didn't have a plan B, so fair enough.
And I felt like that sort of played into who the Kings are. Will Hardy, a great young coach. I got tremendous respect for him. But it just didn't make sense to zone up this Sacramento Kings team with as many great shooters as they have and their ability to pass the ball as well. It'd be like trying to zone up Golden State, and you just wouldn't do that because they move the ball too well, and they'll pick you apart. And kudos to the Kings last night, 29 assists last night. To me, the magic numbers, 30. If you're right around that 30 assist mark, you're doing something right.
102 attempts last night, too. Yeah. So
they got it up. They got it up in 15 offensive rebounds, got to the line 20 times. I think overall, offensively, you couldn't ask for much more. Sure, you want guys to make shots, but, in terms of the way they executed, that was high level yesterday.
I know a lot of the pundits, we've been talking about what people have been writing and saying about the Kings, and they point at Sabonis, Fox, say, they may need to bring in somebody, a bigger star. But I think that notion really to cling to that is to misunderstand what this team is. As you said, this is a deep team, and this is a very democratic team. Yeah. And Fox and Sabonis are the best players, but there are going to be nights like there was last night with Harrison Barnes, probably more with Keegan Murray. They're not so reliant on just those two players.
Yeah, it's an equal opportunity offense. Fox took 18 shots, HB 16, Sabonis 14, Keegan 13, Malik 12. I mean, everybody got a chance, to get the ball up and shoot shots. And, I thought they did a good job, working it around, passing up good shots for great shots. It was a team effort. I never at once felt like somebody was trying to go one-on-one or do too much. And so, from Mike Brown's standpoint, you got to be encouraged because the preseason, like I said, I was a little worried. It wasn't smooth. It was kind of junky a little bit. Sasha looked like he was out of place.
I'm not sure you shared that with us, but
but now as I look back, I can say that. And so everybody just looked like they knew exactly what their job was, their mission was.
Kyle, that's so important with this team. It's cliche, and we all say it about teams when they win in any sport that, it's a team effort. But that's the way this team wins. If this team doesn't get that sort of democratic shared effort, this team doesn't win. So it's great to see him come out and embrace that so vigorously so early in the season.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when you have some new guys too, right? That are part of your team. And I'll talk about the new guys coming up in just a little bit, but give Mike Brown credit. He mentioned it, I think it was pregame, how he, everybody signed this pact that, you're going to be all in. And one thing he said is, he goes to everyone and tells them exactly their role. And you can either accept your role, you can decline your role, or you can embrace your role. And what he wants guys to do is not accept their role, because when you don't get it, the ball, or, things don't go your way, then you're pouting. You got to embrace your role, and that's what we saw last night.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hit us up on the chat with your thoughts on the opening night success for the Kings. We're coming right back with Drapes Takes.
Yeah.
Next, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports has you covered this Sunday as your favorite teams play right here. First, the San Francisco 49ers look to get back on track as they host the Cincinnati Bengals.
Throws for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle.
Following the 49ers, the Kings are home against the Los Angeles Lakers.
Sox will step into a straightaway three. He's got the triple.
49ers, Bengals, Kings, and Lakers. Spend your Sunday with us on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Drive Guys, we'll get to your questions in just a moment here, but right now it's time for Kyle Draper, fresh off his call last night in Salt Lake City, and Drapes Takes.
The highlight of my day, Whitey. I've been waiting ever since last night to deliver these takes, and I'm going to start off with my guy, Domantas Sabonis. Remember, I said he's a ho-hum 19, 12, and 7 kind of guy. What did he get last night? 22 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, but more importantly, 2 block shots. I said it during the broadcast last night. Some people think Domantas Sabonis can't play defense. I thought his defense was excellent last night. He was a rim protector out there last night. So the Kevin O'Connors of the world, all the athletic writers, the Bleacher Report, John Hollinger, all you guys, shut up. Domantas Sabonis is that dude. I thought he was phenomenal last night, Whitey.
22 points on 14
shots. He got to the line. He made his free throws, knocked down a three-point attempt. What more do you haters out there want from Domantas Sabonis? His defense, I think, was impressive, and he was doing it against Walker Kessler, one of the top defensive bigs in the entire game. He put in the work, took him to school.
See what a healthy Sabonis can do. Oh, wait. The Kings, they were lucky with injuries last year. That's right.
So that's my first take. My second take last night, can we get Malik Monk in the dunk contest? Can we get Malik Monk his own poster or his own animation or something? That dunk he had over Chris Dunn, I still feel it in my soul. I still feel it in my heart. Malik's a free agent after this season. Mm-hmm. If I'm Monty McNair, he's a priority. I'm bringing Malik Monk back because Malik Monk embodies everything I want in a Sacramento Kings player.
Malik's dunk?
Malik, ooh, that's new. I like it. But he's a great person. He competes hard. He does it with a smile, and he does it with a scowl. He's not a punk out there. If I'm Sacramento, I want more guys like Malik Monk on my team.
You know what he says all the time? He says, if we win, everybody wins. And he believes that.
Yes.
And he sets the tone for the Kings culture.
He is one of the leaders on this Sacramento Kings team. And, oh, yeah, he had that dunk, but he also had 7 assists, Whitey. He's that secondary playmaker. Outside of De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, he's the guy that can run the backup point, that can make plays. And so Malik Monk, he is my guy. Re-sign him, Monty McNair. I'm about to text you, big fella. Re-sign Malik Monk. That has to happen. And my third take,
Drapes takes,
and this is my final take, And hopefully, Whitey, you're on board with this one. The Sacramento Kings will have the best bench in the entire NBA.
What?
Yes. In my opinion, what the Kings bench did last night was amazing. You're laughing. Hopefully, I'm serious, dude.
No, it's incredible.
I thought Sasha Vezenkov looked great in that offense. You know, we were talking about how's he going to fit in? Is it going to take him time to adjust? He played close to 16 minutes last night. He was a +9, didn't have any turnovers, 2 of 5 from three-point range. That's 40%. 3 of 6 overall. I thought Sasha was tremendous. And Chris Duarte. People don't understand how good Chris Duarte is. People think of last year in Indiana. I watched some tape on this guy back to his JUCO days in Florida. This guy can ball. He has a little swagger into his game, and his confidence is something that we need off the bench. I think this Kings team has the potential to have the best bench in the NBA.
Let me back you up with some numbers. JaVale McGee, Vezenkov, and Duarte combined last night. Those three players combined 10 of 15 from the floor, 5 for 9 on three-pointers, 25 points.
25 points. And think about it. JaVale McGee played 13 and change. Sasha 15 and change. And when you look at it, they were all pluses last night. Malik Monk a +12. JaVale McGee a +13. Sasha a +9 as well. And so I think this Kings bench, they are deeper than any team since I've been here. And I think what you saw, you know, a lot of times when you talk about the bench, you know, the reason guys are bench players is because they're not consistent. I don't think what we saw last night is anything out of the ordinary for this bench. Like, I think Chris Duarte could come in and give you 9 points a game. I think Sasha could come in and do better. He only had 8. I think he could be much better. And so I think what we saw from this bench, they were just scratching the surface. I think this can be a huge strength for this Sacramento team.
Best bench in the NBA.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, you know, some of the contenders out there, and you know, let's say Boston, their bench isn't deep. Denver, they got a nice bench, but they lost some pieces out there. Lakers, they got a good bench. Warriors, a little thin. If Kuminga and Moody play well, they could be in the mix. But I think what you're seeing from this Kings bench, you got veterans. Malik Monk's been around. JaVale McGee's been around. Sasha's 28 years old. Chris Duarte's in his 3rd year, but he plays like a savvy veteran. And so he's fearless out there. And so I think this Kings bench can be really good, White.
Nice. You know, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but I remember when the Weber, Vlade Kings, when they were really coming into their own, they had a very effective bench. People gave them a nickname, and they were the bench mob, and people had a lot of fun with that. So I don't think we're there yet, but I'm wondering if we get to a point here where this bench develops an identity to the point where we develop a nickname for it.
Yeah,
that would be up to broadcasters.
Oh, and it got to be organic too. It can't just be, let me look something up. And no, you know, during the game, I might say something. And let's not forget, they didn't even have Trey Lyles.
I know.
They didn't have Trey Lyles last night. And so this team, Mike Brown went 10 deep last night. He can go 11 deep pretty easy. We didn't see our guy Colby Jones until super late, obviously. He's another guy you can throw. But I think this is probably the deepest Kings team since I've been here, maybe in a while.
I made a prediction on SactownSports.com that speaks to that. I want to see what you think of this. I think the Kings have a chance this year to break the NBA record for most players in one game scoring in double figures. The record is 10. I think
that's a lot.
I know. And it hasn't been done since like 1994.
Yeah.
But this is a team I could see. You know, they have a night where you have like 11 guys that are scoring at least 10 points. I think it could happen.
Right. But, you know, and I've said this on the show before, Kings fans, the mark of a good team is that you have multiple guys that can go out there and get you 15 to 20 any given night. The Kings have 8 or 9 of those guys. And so you're right. There could be, you know, JaVale McGee can get you 10 points. We saw it last night. JaVale McGee had 8. I mean, he can easily get you 10. Sasha, we know, can get you in double figures. Malik can get you in double figures. Duarte, you throw in Trey Lyles, and then the starting 5, that's 10 right there. Very easy.
Yeah.
And because of the style of offense they run, it's conducive to that.
Yeah. And, you know, let's not kid ourselves. They needed that last night because there's a handful of guys, especially the guards, they didn't shoot well. And I'm not trying to be negative, but it was great to have some of the bench guys pick up the slack because there was a handful of guys that you usually rely on offensively that didn't shoot the ball real well last night. It wasn't a problem.
Exactly. And one thing about last night, the Kings scored 72 points in that first half. and De'Aaron Fox was 2 of 9, 6 points. Think about that. You score 72 and your best player only has 6 points. Of course, HB went off, but the bench contributed as well. Keegan Murray had 9. Domas had 9. And so it's a total team effort, man. And there will be nights like that. And, I love the fact that we've reached a point where we don't need De'Aaron to go out there and get you 35 and 40 a night to win a game. De'Aaron can have 18 and you can still get a win.
Yeah. Questions here on the chat. San Jose Jazz fan 3 asks, since you brought up Golden State predictions, Whitey, Kyle, anybody?
For tomorrow?
Friday night? Yeah.
No Draymond Green tomorrow night. I got Kings by 6. I think it's going to be electric in there. I think, if I'm a Kings player, this one's personal tomorrow. Steph Curry's doing a night-night on you in a preseason game. Draymond stomping on your chest out there. Like, we owe the Warriors one. And I think you'll see a very fired up, excited, impassioned Kings team tomorrow. I got Kings.
Yeah, I think the Kings will get them too. And I think one of the big battles will be a battle for, you wouldn't normally think of it between these two teams. But with Chris Paul now, the Warriors, they don't necessarily play at the same pace.
Yeah.
And the Kings are going to want to push that pace. And I think that battle for tempo is going to be one of the keys to the game. And I think at home, the Kings, especially the way they played offensively last night, I think they're going to dictate tempo, and I think they're going to have their way with the Warriors.
And I think, the Warriors are at a point where Steph Curry needs to be great for them to, Steph can't have an 18-point game and the Warriors win, in my opinion, especially going against the Kings. And so to me, Steph Curry is the X factor, is that cheat code that now if he goes off for 40 or something, which he's very capable of, then it could be a long night for Sacramento. But if you corral Steph, hold him to 20, 25, I don't have much faith in those other guys in that Warriors team.
Clay is not happy right now. He's got a contract thing going on, and he's kind of playing out of position a little bit. He's not playing well, but, he quite often has a little something for the Kings. Right. So, a real something for the Kings. So we'll see how that goes. And then I know you pointed out it was really interesting, their first game against Phoenix, the finishing lineup.
Yeah.
Kuminga was in and Wiggins was out.
Right. And so Wiggins.
They're still sorting some things
out.
They're
still sorting some things out. And I don't know if they're trying to empower Kuminga or was Wiggins that bad. I think Wiggins, if they're going to talk about being a championship team, Wiggins has to be their second best player. If he, becomes just another guy, there's no way. And so it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, I know for sure, leading up to the game, because we'll be live at the arena tomorrow. I'm looking forward to Sabonis Looney. My guy Sabonis has to win that matchup tomorrow.
We just got to hold Looney to maybe 14 or 15 offensive rebounds.
Offensive rebounds, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he looked like Moses Malone and Wilt out there last playoff series.
By the way, homecoming night for Sacramento State football, it's this Saturday versus Idaho State. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early, enjoy the festivities, and whatever you do, get your tickets at hornetsports.com. When we come right back, where the Kings will need to be better tomorrow night. To drive guys, Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, Sactown Sports.
Some nights just mean more. Friday night at Golden One Center, your Sacramento Kings play their home opener against the Golden State Warriors.
Two-hand flush off the bounce thrown down by Davion Mitchell.
With memories of a classic first-round battle, these two Northern California rivals hook up for the first time this season.
And the Kings defense again creating an open floor opportunity.
Kings, Warriors, the home opener, Friday night at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports, and the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday is looking bright and sunny. A dry day today pairs up with a north breeze about 5 to 10 this afternoon and highs peaking in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has a selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Exergen thermometers are the smart choice when selecting a thermometer. With children back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Got a fever? Stay home. To detect fever accurately at home, you need a clinically accurate, fast, and non-invasive thermometer. The Exergen thermometer is backed by over 100 clinical studies. Accuracy matters. Be smart and safe. Measure accurately with Exergen thermometers. Available at Walmart and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Your Sacramento State Hornets are home this Saturday night against the Idaho State Bengals. It is homecoming at Sac State, so arrive early and enjoy the homecoming festivities. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m., and let's pack Hornet Stadium as the top-ranked Hornets compete for a Big Sky championship. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. Get your tickets now to secure your spot at Hornet Stadium for this Big Sky showdown. You can get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Igor, my faithful companion, it is time to prepare for the night. The shadows grow long, and the creatures of the night stir with excitement.
Yes, Master Dracula. What do you require of me?
I need you to fire up the hearse. Elk Grove Kia is having a Halloween sale that is to die for. We're going to upgrade to a new car worthy of the Prince of Darkness. I'm so excited. It is making my blood shiver.
But Master, with your credit history, aren't you worried you're going to get turned down?
Igor, shut up. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of experience. They can even get me approved, even with my troubled past. And Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on all new Kias, it's almost like having an immortal car.
Elk Grove Kia's Halloween sale is so good, it's scaring the competition. In fact, it's so scary, we can't even advertise the pricing. So whether you're in need of a new or used car, make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or visit us at elkgrovekia.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings are 1-0 after winning opening night against the Utah Jazz 130-114. The Kings set a franchise opening night record with 13 first-half three-pointers, and 8 different Sacramento Kings hit a three-pointer in the game. Brennan Nunez has his 4 takeaways from the game up right now at SactownSports.com. You guys should definitely read it. It's a very, very good story. In football, Brock Purdy's unlikely to play Sunday for the 49ers while he goes through the concussion protocol. However, Emil Fergoso says that Purdy was out at practice today, taking first-team reps with the 49ers. We'll see if he ends up playing Sunday against the Bengals at 1:25 p.m. And Thursday Night Football is right here on Sactown Sports. We've got Baker Mayfield's Buccaneers against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, with our coverage beginning at 4:30 p.m. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of the Drive Guys.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
I don't know about you. I am so immersed in the NBA season now and in the Kings, the new season.
Yep.
Sheena asked me this morning, hey, who's on football tonight? Who's playing Thursday Night Football? I don't know. Kyle just mentioned again, yeah, we got quite a shootout.
Yes.
Bills and the Bucks. But I really, when she asked me, I said, the Lakers are playing the Suns tonight. She goes, no.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I don't know.
I totally forgot. And I asked you, I'm like, who's playing tonight? And driving in, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to set my fantasy lineup. Like, football just isn't on my mind today, especially after that Kings win last night.
Yeah, what a win it was. What do you think, Kyle? Trying not to get too carried away with opening night. What do you think the Kings are going to have to make sure they do better against the Warriors tomorrow night?
They got to tighten up the defense. It was better last night, but you'll recall this watching this game. How many backdoor cuts did Jordan Clarkson get and get easy layups on it? They went to that play like 3 or 4 times in a row and got a bucket every single time. And so I don't think it was for lack of effort. Sometimes, Whitey, when you try really hard, sometimes you can, you lose your fundamentals a little bit. Like you want it so badly. And so I thought Kevin Huerter wanted it so badly. He wanted to play great defense, but sometimes he might have been over aggressive and got beat backdoor because he was trying to overplay the pass. And so I think, this Warriors team is severely much better at passing than what we saw from the Utah Jazz. Superior. They are a superior passing team. And so I think you'll get backdoored to death if you overplay them. And so I want to see them shore up the defense tomorrow.
I think one of the keys to the game will be who's able to play the best defense of the two teams without fouling. The Kings had 25 fouls. I think that was the most any team has committed. And I know we just started, but in the first games of the season, I think that's the most any team has committed. Obviously, it's difficult with Mike Brown demanding more physical defense. Hard to play more physical defense without fouling, but that's been an issue for the Warriors as well. So, again, I think that looms as one of the keys to tomorrow's game. You remember what happened what was it? Wasn't it the last time the Kings were down there in the preseason and the Warriors it was a parade to the free throw line?
Yeah. Remember, Kuminga had like 17 in that one game. Why are you pissing? You're like, that can't happen tomorrow.
Right.
Why is he getting all those free? No, but you're right. And the Warriors, one thing about them is they'll let you back in the game. They're a high turnover team. And so I think tomorrow your defense has to be on point. You got to be on a string. You got to be aggressive, but not too aggressive where you get beat backdoor and obviously commit fouls.
You just touched on one of the things that to me is most impressive about the Kings last night. They scored 130 points. They turned the ball over, total team turnovers, only 12. That's not out of this world, but that's really solid.
That's really solid, especially when you play at that pace, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're moving the ball around. Guys are flying around. You want to be up-tempo. And to turn it over 12 times, I thought that was huge. But I do want to go back to something they got to improve on. I said the defense, but also the offensive rebounding. Like, they let Utah get 16 offensive rebounds last night. You said it earlier. JaVale McGee, you hold him to 14 offensive rebounds. But jokingly obvious, but you can't Looney. You can't give Warriors second chance opportunities. We saw it in Game 7. Steph will make you pay, especially some of those long rebounds or those quick hitters that Steph gets. Looney will get a rebound, toss it to Steph, and then bang a three. And so I think if I'm Mike Brown at practice today, defense and also better rebounding, limiting second chance opportunities.
And the Kings, quite simply, they will need better shooting from their backcourt tomorrow night. You can check the numbers. It wouldn't be polite to go over them here because they're not pleasant, but Huerter, Fox, Mitchell, and Malik, none of those guys shot the ball well at all.
Think about that, though. And they still hit 19 threes, 37%, without arguably their best three-point shooter shooting well last night. That's, that's impressive. But you're right. I could tell you the numbers right here. I'm going to rattle them down. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Kevin Huerter, 1 for 5 from 3. De'Aaron Fox, 1 of 7 from 3. Malik Monk, 2 of 9 from 3. And so it's scary to think
And
this
my guy
team scored
Davion 0 for 2.
0 for 2.
Yeah.
It's scary to think they dropped 130, and those guys were combined, whatever it is, 4 of like 18 or whatever they shot. And so I agree. They got to be better. I think De'Aaron Fox, 7 threes a game is a lot. Like, do you like him taking that many threes? I know he's feeling it a little bit, but
gotta make it.
yeah, you got to make, right.
Yeah,
just make
not
them.
A terrible number unless they're not going in. But I don't know. Is some of the edge taken off this rivalry now that De'Aaron Fox and Steph are like business buddies? Huh?
I think so. I was thinking that when I saw the promo and all that. Did you see they were hugging in one picture and everything? And I'm like, De'Aaron, I know you're trying to secure the bag. I know you want to get paid. I know Steph's an all-time great. But you just can't do that,
Not
right?
now.
Not
When you play 'em tomorrow.
Not right now. Wait another month or so to release that.
We have that, Kyle. It's De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry announcing that De'Aaron Fox is now an endorser for Curry's Under Armour brand.
Courtesy of NBA Today.
It is rare that 2 star players from opposing teams are sitting next to one another, but this is for a special occasion. What's going on?
I'm the very first Curry brand athlete, and I'm extremely excited about the opportunity that he's given me, and I want to take this, obviously, individual. I want to continue to grow, but also I want to help his brand as well. So there's a mutual respect and a mutual agreement that we have, and we want to be able to grow this together.
This is definitely a special occasion. I've been rocking, Curry brand Under Armour since 2013, and Curry brand's been in existence since 2020. But to be able to partner with somebody like D Fox while we're still competing, while we're still battling, and so for me, to be sitting next to him to understand what this opportunity really means and allow him to take it and run with it is a dream come true for me, because there's no better guy than him.
Throughout the playoffs, this happened a lot. We would show our team would show the shoes, and they're like, "Oh, he's wearing Steph's, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna bust his ass in this shoes." That's how I'm thinking about it. They're like, "Oh, you see someone with your shoes on, you like, I got him." I'm like, "Well, what if you see someone with your shoes on and they're coming at you?" So it's it's kind of a mind game on both sides, I feel like, and I'm trying to play it on this side.
Yeah. All right. That's dream come true. 2 reasons not to make too much of it, but 2 reasons I don't like it. One is that, as fans, we like to think that, especially when they're your rivals, that you're not going to be too buddy-buddy, but I get it. The other thing is, remember when Michael Jordan came back after he left the Bulls and he was going to go to the Wizards?
Yeah.
So he came back. George Karl said, "Hey, Michael's coming back. It'd be a good time to buy Nike stock." Well, I did. And I should have bought more, but it was a smart move. So as somebody who has Nike stock, I don't like this at all. De'Aaron hitching his wagon to Under Armour.
Yeah, it did. A new De'Aaron Fox free agent, if you will. But it's sort of like, and maybe I'm overstating this Kings-Warriors rivalry, but it's like Magic and Bird signing, Magic signing with Larry Bird's shoe company or something like
it's
just that. Right. It's just, how can you, want to go out there and really beat a guy, and we'll see how De'Aaron responds tomorrow, when you were just hugging up on him in an ad. You were just appearing side by side. I don't know, man. Get the bag, De'Aaron. I get it, but I don't feel good about this one.
We'll feel better after he has his way with the Warriors tomorrow.
Oh, maybe what he's doing is softening up Steph Curry, right? So Steph Curry will take it easy.
Very smart.
Yeah, that's what that is. I get it now, Foxy. I get it.
The reality is that we just have to accept that for a lot of these guys, their allegiances to their shoe brands are almost as strong as in some cases, as their allegiances to their teams. It's just the business.
That's true. And, some of these guys are actually friends off the court too.
Sure.
Believe it or not.
I don't like that either.
Right. I don't like it either. I hate the yellow color blue now. I hate the color yellow. I hate Golden State. I hate Chase Center. I won't bank there anymore. Everything about anything associated with the Warriors, I'm done with.
Yeah. And you expect the same from the players, right?
You would think.
All right. When we come back, we'll tell you which King is already leading the NBA in a major statistical category.
Ooh.
So Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Some nights just need more. Friday night at Golden One Center, your Sacramento Kings play their home opener against the Golden State Warriors.
Two-hand flush off the bounce thrown down by Davion Mitchell.
With memories of a classic first-round battle, these two Northern California rivals hook up for the first time this season.
And the Kings defense again creating an open floor opportunity.
Kings, Warriors, the home opener, Friday night at 7 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports, and the Sactown Sports app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to the newest technology with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper had the call last night. You're going to have the call for the home opener tomorrow night?
Yeah, I get to see my people. Golden One Center packed out, 18,000. strong. I know we're going to be fired up, and me and Katie on the call tomorrow on the TV side. I'm looking forward to it.
That's going to be very unique atmosphere. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be more electric than the playoffs last year, but in a way, it's going to be another layer added on to all that.
Yeah, and the great thing about this time, obviously Kings fans show out, but in previous years, you'd see a healthy dose of Warrior fans. I think this is one of those things where Kings fans, they're not selling their tickets. They're not giving them away or anything. Everybody wants to be in the building for this game tomorrow night. So I'm looking for a 90% Kings crowd out there tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. It's a big game, isn't it? These are all big games. I mean,
yeah.
That's cliche, but they are, given the state of the West right now and given the state of this rivalry.
Right, exactly. And especially with the Warriors, a team you're going to be battling with, not only in the division, but for playoff seeding as well. And so, sure, what happened in the preseason happened, but now you get a chance to win a meaningful game against them and hopefully, go up on the tiebreaker with them. Same with the Lakers also. I mean, you got 4 games right out the gate. 3 of them are against division teams. 3 of them are against teams you're going to be battling for that top 4 spot in the Western Conference. So you pick up these early wins, you got yourself ahead of those teams already, and now they got to play catch up with you right from the jump.
By the way, I know we talked about the fact that Durant playing against the Warriors in San Francisco in front of Warrior fans Tuesday. That was his first time playing in front of Warrior fans since he left there in 2019. And tonight, LeBron and KD will face each other. They'll be on the floor together for the first time since Christmas Day of 2018.
Wow, think about that, right? What, 5 years?
Yeah.
That they haven't played each other? I don't know what. Guys have been injured, load management, what have you. I know Phoenix is without Booker and Brad Beal tonight, but, to see LeBron and KD go at it, those 2 guys for the longest time were the top 2 players in the league before the Giannis's came on, before Jokic came on. And so I'm going to still be watching tonight.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, we're still going to be watching tonight.
KD has switched teams twice since he last played against
really?
LeBron.
Yeah. Who was he? Was that with the Warriors?
It was 2018.
Wow, 2018.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, so he never faced him when he was with Brooklyn.
No.
Wow. That's interesting. And so, when I watch this game, and I know we got a lot of young talent in this league.
Which game? The Bills and the Bucks?
They're playing tonight? When I watch Lakers Suns, I'm going to be thinking, man, I'm watching 2 of the all-time greats go at it. I don't know how many more times we're going to see LeBron and KD against each other. I mean, the league's going to miss those 2 guys when they hang it
Definitely will. When Bird and Magic used to play, I didn't like Larry Bird, but, man, I sure miss him. I sure miss watching him play.
Same.
Which Sacramento King is leading the NBA right now in a major statistical category? I think this is a major statistical category. We have JaVale McGee, 4 for 4, so he leads the NBA.
Okay.
He's tied with a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Best field goal percentage so far. Perfect. Who leads the league in field goal percentage? JaVale McGee.
And, no, you know what, though? He'll probably, if he has enough attempts, you would think he'd be up there, right? I mean, I don't want him shooting threes or, but we've seen him stretch out a little bit, but he should be a 70% kind of shooter, lobs and dunks.
Mm-hmm.
Domas will be up in that mix as well, too.
And then JaVale McGee with the sky hook. I mean, that was, if you never saw Kareem's sky hook, that was about as close as I've seen to it since he stopped shooting.
Yeah, and what makes that so unstoppable, especially when you have a player that size, just how high they get it up, the length. Like, it was statuesque. He looked like the Statue of Liberty when he took that. It's indefensible, probably the most indefensible shot in basketball history, the sky hook.
Why don't guys shoot it more? Or women, for that matter?
It's not sexy. It's you can't do a step back sky hook. You know what I mean? You can't break ankles with the sky hook. And so, Tommy Heinsohn, who I worked with in the past, he used to always say the same thing. I don't get why guys don't shoot that anymore, because he was a running hook kind of guy back in the late 50s and 60s. And guys just don't do it. I will tell you this, because you and I, we both grew up Magic Johnson fans, Laker fans. When Magic hit that running hook over the Celtics in the 87 finals, I went outside and practiced that hook and did it on the playground. Baby sky hook. Guys don't do that anymore, though. Like, are people out practicing JaVale McGee's sky hook right now?
They're
Probably
practicing
not.
on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they are.
It's different, but I ran outside and practiced that baby running hook.
Did you master it?
I did. And in pickup games, I would hit and I'd say magic, while shooting. I was that dude, man.
Yeah, hopefully JaVale McGee can keep it going. But as we said earlier, as you pointed out, I mean, some of the guys coming off the Kings bench last night had a combined great night with McGee, Vezenkov, and Duarte. As I mentioned earlier, they combined to go 10 of 15.
Yeah.
That makes an impact off the bench, especially when, as we said, your starting backcourt wasn't shooting real well last night.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the mark of a good team, right? Where, if you're a bench guy, you come in, how do you make your mark? The starters aren't playing well in terms of shooting the ball well. I thought Chris Duarte, he only played 14 minutes and 44 seconds. But I thought what he gave this team, just the way he played.
Yes.
I mean,
I saw that too.
You saw that? He played with a little swagger, like a confidence. He's a quiet guy. Obviously, he doesn't talk a lot. But when he gets out on the floor, he plays with a confidence. And I'm watching him like, this dude right here, he has to be a part of the rotation. And so here's 3 of 5 last night, 9 points. He's just scratching the surface of how he can impact this team. He could be legitimately a 6-man kind of year kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got Malik and Duarte. I think we're set, off the bench in the backcourt.
There was a point in the third quarter at which I think the Jazz cut it to 9, and it was like, oh, here they come.
Yeah.
And the Kings had it back up to 18 like that.
Yes.
It was just like, oh, here come the Jazz. Oh, nope. There they went.
Yes. And I think, was that when Harrison Barnes and Markkanen got tied? Something happened, and I turned to Katie.
That double foul.
That double, and I said, this could be a turning point in this game.
Very chippy.
And it got chippy, and then the Kings took off. You're right about that. They cut it to, 7 or something like you said, and then De'Aaron Fox, getting the technical. Like,
it was double digits again.
Yeah, it was just like that. And that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to piss off De'Aaron Fox because he'll take over. And so, no, man, it was great to see, Utah, Jordan Clarkson got it going. And so I was like, uh-oh, that's one guy you don't want to get hot because he can score in a bunch. But the Kings had an answer every single time. I think the Jazz only led for 15, 20 seconds all game. Like, they took the lead. I think it was 18-17. And then after that, the Kings led the rest of the way.
I remember last year, I don't remember which game. I think it might have been a win over the Nets. It was a game where Mike Brown kind of laughed and said, yeah, we were gritty tonight. And he made a point of saying, can you imagine this team, gritty? He's kind of calling them out.
Yeah.
But last night, I think it appeared to me anyway that message received. I think there's going to be a lot of games where this team gets a little chippy.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I need to see that. Obviously, you don't want to cross the line or anything, but you have to walk into especially an opponent's building with a little chip on your shoulder, right,
They
Whitey?
have to play that way.
You
This
got to
team
play
win.
with that little bit of edge. And we're not talking, going crazy or anything like that. But, the narrative in the past had been, Sacramento, you knock them down, they're not going to get up, This team keeps getting up. We saw it last year. And so I like what I'm seeing. It's only one game, but I like barking a little bit. I like getting in somebody's face. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but if I'm the Kings, I'm walking in there smelling blood in my eyes. Like, I'm ready to go, ready to battle.
I think this team needs to send a message to the rest of the league. Who cares what the reporters say, the media says, but the Kings aren't a great defensive team. So you could see if you're playing them, you'd think, you know what, we get behind, we're good, we're going to get back into it. The Kings need to change that perception of them. It's like, it's not when you play us, it's not an easy game. And a lot of the things Mike Brown's teaching defensively and preaching defensively, that goes a long ways towards changing that, and it's not easy. But I think last night that was a real encouraging sign. We saw that the Kings are bringing an edge to this season that was lacking too often last year.
Yeah, and when I talk about Malik Monk being a leader, he's one of those guys. I want to see it more from De'Aaron Fox as well, but you're right. When you play the Sacramento Kings, it should not be an easy night for you.
Yeah. When we come back, tell you why, according to Mike Brown, good is the enemy of great for the 23-24 Kings as we continue to bask in the afterglow of their season opening win. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com. Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Are you a sports memorabilia collector? Then this is the show for you. Emil Fergoso here to introduce a true sports card show, where every card tells a story and every piece of memorabilia has a history. Join industry expert Imran Polati and myself every week as we dive deep into the world of sports cards, bring you the latest trends, exclusive interviews, and the hottest tips for collectors. Tune in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 and experience the thrill of the chase. The True Sports Card Show, brought to you by True Sports Cards and Collectibles on Sactown Sports.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won 130-114 against the Utah Jazz. It was a very fun game for the Kings, including fun highlights like these from Malik Monk.
Here's a Fox steal. Got a breakaway coming up for Sacramento. Chased by Dunn. Drops it to Monk. Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk. That's as good as it gets for Sacramento. And
the Sacramento Kings hit 13 first-half three-pointers, which is a team franchise record. In football, Brock Purdy is unlikely to play Sunday for the San Francisco 49ers. However, Emil Fergoso told us this afternoon he was out there taking first-team reps for the 49ers at practice, so we'll see if he ends up playing. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to more of the Drive Guys.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Drive Guys with you, Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper, who had the call last night. Confession time. I was a little concerned with the start of the season, given how the Kings played in the preseason. I think, Kyle, you might have felt the same way. So there was some, joy and also a little bit of relief to see the Kings so emphatically thump the Jazz last night in the opener.
Yeah, 100%. And, I was at shoot-around yesterday morning out in Salt Lake City. The team usually holds a shoot-around. So this was about 9:30. And, I just didn't sense that same energy I saw last season. Like last season, it was high energy. Guys were upbeat, and I didn't sense that yesterday. And so before the game, I was a little nervous.
Really?
But this team, when the lights came on, everything just fell right back into place. And so even though they didn't play well in the preseason, even though the body language didn't seem great, the energy, the intensity didn't seem there, they were able to flip that switch come game time. And so, I don't have to worry anymore. I know all is well, all is right with this Kings team. They got to do it tomorrow again also. But watching them last night, reminded everyone that, you know what? This Kings team is for real. All these Hollinger saying 39 wins, not from that team we saw last night. Not at all. And so I'm feeling good today.
You consider everything this team has been through in the last year since the start of last season. I was noticing last night, there's no complacency, and I know it's only one game, and it's silly to overreact to things after one game, but there's no complacency. But when there was a moment where I remember Monk and Sabonis were discussing something defensively, or Keegan and Barnes or whomever, there seems to be a confidence there. There's not a, what are we doing? It's more like, oh, you do. I don't know. I just sense that this team has grown a lot in the last year.
Yeah. You're 100% right. And the way they communicate, and sure, there were a couple of times Mike Brown called the quick time. Like he was on a few times yesterday. But for the most part, they know what they're doing. I mentioned I was at shoot around yesterday. They're throwing in some new plays, some new schemes. And, and I'm thinking to myself, how are these guys going to remember this come game time? Because you're watching it play out in front of you there at shoot around, and it doesn't seem to be clicking quite well. But then once the game comes, and I don't know if Utah is just a bad team or what, but the Kings look like they had been playing together for years yesterday. Like everybody knew what their role was, what position they needed to be in. Like you said, the level of communication is good. Guys aren't fighting or guys are really locked in right now, and that was good to see.
I think that's a great point you just made, because I know sometimes I'll be watching a game, whoever it is, and sometimes they'll be in a set, and someone has to point to somebody like, no, you go over there. And the first reaction is, what a dummy. He doesn't know. But sometimes they just put that in, right?
They just put it in that morning, and it's amazing. And, the guys are like, yeah, we get it. But I'm like, do they really? Because I don't get it. I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, where's he supposed to go? Yeah. And so
he doesn't even know the play.
Right. But yesterday, those guys, they knew the play. And you know what? The worst thing Utah could have done, best thing for Sacramento was go to that zone.
I know.
That zone, they picked it apart. It was an awful zone, and I thought it made the Kings' life a whole lot easier, and the Kings took advantage. Give them credit.
Mm-hmm. They did look prepared for that zone. It wasn't just shooting the ball well, which they did. They overloaded the zone. They were well prepared to attack that zone.
Yes, they were. Now, let me ask you this, because I was there, obviously. I talked about the defense. Anything of concern to you at all? Or is this all sunshine and rainbows? Everybody's feeling good?
And I know we've talked about it already, the backcourt didn't shoot well. The backcourt shot the ball badly. And that's especially concerning with Herter. And I know everything's going to be fine, but, it's like, okay, he looks like, I think Katie mentioned, looks like got a little hitch in his get along.
Right.
And then De'Aaron Fox not shooting the ball well, but it was fine for one night, but you have 4 of your guards didn't shoot the ball well. So that was something that and the defense that everyone already knows about this team.
Right.
Those were the things that gave me a little pause last night, but the Kings more than made up for those things.
Yeah, they did. And the fact that they scored 130.
Yeah.
When guys didn't shoot well, that could have easily been a 145 kind of game if guys make a few more shots, because there was a little stretch where they went cold from 3, just a little bit. It wasn't long, and a few of those fall, and it's an even bigger blowout. And so, I'm gonna say all is right in Kingsland. Those things that we saw, those can be worked on. And if you're Mike Brown, you want something to break up. The guys probably walked in feeling good, and if I'm Mike Brown, I'm playing 3 straight Jordan Clarkson backdoor layups. You got to stay on these guys if you're Mike Brown.
By the way, that was a flagrant one on him where he lifted his arms and smacked Sabonis.
You think
because the way I saw it, and Jordan
you think
Clark,
it was intentional or no?
He knew right where Sabonis was, and I like Jordan Clarkson. He's a tough guy. He's a scrapper, but he knew right where Sabonis was. He was right on his left hip, and then he raised his left arm up. He had to know. It's probably like, well, I don't want to hit him, but clunk. So I thought that was a good call.
Yeah, they called that flagrant one. And I think that might have been when I was saying was the turning point in the game, because I felt the Jazz were making a run a little bit. They got back into it, but then that play happens. Kings get the free throw, then they get possession, 2 free throws, and then they get possession. And I think that it went from like 12 to 17 right after that play. And so that was a big call. And, I'm not saying Clarkson's a dirty player, but players know, you know what? Just a little shot. I'm just trying to get him off me. It's not like I'm trying to hurt him or anything.
I mean, if you play basketball, you've probably done it yourself.
Right. Exactly. I also thought the Harrison Barnes, Lowry Markkanen, to me, that was sort of almost a play on kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like either double foul, but they called an initial foul on Barnes, and then they did the technical too on Mark. I'm like, just play on. Like, guys get tangled up. I thought that was a little excessive that they did.
That gets confusing because I believe the Kings had challenged the double foul.
Yeah,
then they kind of changed the ruling, so I thought, then they won their challenge. But no,
they lost the challenge.
Yeah, right.
But they won the whole
Yeah,
they came out better for it. Actually.
Did you happen to see? And I know you're traveling last night. Did you happen to see the piece in The Athletic today? Remember, Anthony Slater told us when we talked to him this week that he and Sam Amick were working on a piece.
Yes,
it's excellent.
Is it out? No, I have not seen it yet. I have not seen it.
And it's about how Mike Brown is trying to get this team to the next level, and about how good is the enemy of great. And it's really interesting to me because we touched on this yesterday. Right now, for Kings fans, there's such a sense of excitement and optimism. But when the Kings are practicing with Mike Brown, it's not excitement and optimism. It's like, let's go. We need to get better. And the piece starts here with a practice they had where Monk is dribbling and Jalen Knowles no longer there.
Yeah.
He fouls him. And Malik Monk, for a minute, complains to the official, the hired official, the assigned referee.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get back in transition. And Mike Brown blows his whistle and stops the practice right there. And Malik, I'm about to lose my bleeping mind if you keep doing this bleep. So it really speaks to how intensely Mike Brown is trying to instill a better defensive mindset in this team and a sense of toughness.
Yeah, and that's happened a couple of times during practice where, Mike Brown stops it, uses some choice language, if you will. And so he gets it. He understands. And I like the headline from Slater and Amick. Good is the enemy of great.
Yes.
Because that's what I was worried about with this Kings team. They felt like they're good now. They felt like last season was a good season, and that's maybe what all they're satisfied of. And so, if they come back with the same effort, same intensity, they'll get the same results, and that's not the case. You got to be, a little more hungrier, if you will, this year. And I think that's what Mike Brown is trying to get to these guys. And, Jordan Clarkson had an interesting comment during the preseason. He said when he works out, he likes to be uncomfortable when he works out because that's how he gets better. You don't go through your normal routine and shoot, 50 3-pointers from your favorite spot. He said, no, I like to work on things I'm not good at and make myself feel uncomfortable. And I think Mike Brown's trying to make these guys feel uncomfortable, make sure that they're not satisfied. Last year is done. This is a new year. You got to come stronger and better this year.
I'll give you a great example of that. Have you heard the Moses Moody story when last year they told him, they either told him, we can send you to the G League or you can stay here, but you're not going to play. It's going to be rough here. You're not going to play much. Apparently, Moses Moody told Steve Kerr, he said, smoother waters will not make me a better sailor.
Ooh.
And Steve Kerr's like, how old is this guy? What?
I did. Yeah. I remember that one. Yes. But it's 100% true, right? Yeah. Like these Kings, they can't feel like they've arrived.
They haven't done anything yet. Like the high flyer said yesterday when you were in Salt Lake City, we were talking to the high flyer. He said, Mike Brown's been to the mountaintop.
Right.
He has.
Right.
So he knows what it takes to get there. And the Kings are nowhere near that. And he is intent upon making sure they don't think they've done anything yet.
Yes. Remember the Rick Pitino story I told you about? Get your PhD. You got to stay poor, hungry, and driven. And that's along those same lines. When you feel like you've accomplished something, that's when you get beat. You got to stay hungry. You got to stay driven. You got to stay poor. You got to act like you haven't accomplished anything yet. And I think that's what Mike Brown's trying to get from these guys.
And none of it works unless the players hear what he's saying and say, yeah, all right, we're on board with that. And so far, so good.
So far, so good. Now I'm already turning the page on yesterday if I'm Mike Brown. Celebrate that. That's great and nice. But now the competition level steps up with Golden State tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's all De'Aaron Fox's problem was last night, right? It was a trap game for him. He's looking ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Looking ahead, facing his business
Hopefully
partner.
he wasn't worried about his shoe deal and thinking about that. Like, I need Foxy to come out there and be the best guard on the floor tomorrow. I need him to outplay Steph Curry. Remember in the postseason before he broke the finger, he was outplaying Steph Curry. He was playing phenomenal those first 3 games. Then Curry turned it on. I need Foxy to be the best player on the floor tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm really optimistic about the Kings' chances tomorrow night, and I just hesitate. Okay. I want to make sure I'm being honest.
To think about it, like,
this is great.
Yeah, this is great.
Team.
We're going to win by 20, right? No, I am too. The Warriors feel confident. Obviously, they've beaten the Kings in the preseason, in the postseason, but I think tomorrow it's going to be a different animal for this Sacramento team. They're going to come out hungry tomorrow.
When we come right back, premature knee-jerk reactions to the brand new NBA season with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports has you covered this Sunday as your favorite teams play right here. First, the San Francisco 49ers look to get back on track as they host the Cincinnati Bengals.
Goes for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle.
Following the 49ers, the Kings are home against the Los Angeles Lakers.
Fox will step into a straightaway 3. He's got the triple.
49ers, Bengals, Kings, and Lakers. Spend your Sunday with us on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
All right, let's face it, Drive Guys here. Again, basking in the afterglow of last night's win, but it wasn't all sunshine and peace and love for the Kings last night. Defense wasn't very good. As much as we talk about how Mike Brown's preaching defense and teaching defense on the text line here, on the chat, I should say, Compio points out Katie, actually was Eric S., pardon me. Katie brought it up last night. We allowed them to score quite a bit. Compio says Utah had too many points in the paint.
Yeah, the points in the paint, and it wasn't, your traditional throw it into the center, back them down. They got layup after layup, and, they got it 2 different ways, too. They got it, obviously, on the backdoor cuts, but they also got it on dribble drive penetration. And this goes back to this narrative that Sabonis is not a good defender. Well, at times, he's being put in an impossible situation. To me, your best defense starts with the perimeter. Your guards have to do their job. And way too many times, whether if it was Sexton, whether it was Taylor Horton-Tucker, whether it was Clarkson, they were able to get into the paint and get easy layups. 64 points in the paint last night for the Utah Jazz, to only 48 for the Kings. And a lot of them, like I said, their center, Walker Kessler, only had 8 points total. So it was Clarkson getting into the paint. It was Sexton getting into the paint. Markkanen got in there. They have to do a better job perimeter defense. And it's not on Sabonis to be there blocking shots. It's more imperative that Fox, Herter, all those guys lock down the perimeter because you don't have that natural shot blocker back there.
block shots do not always equate good defense. I know that, but still, 8 blocks for the Kings last night.
Yeah.
And Keegan Murray had a couple blocks.
Yeah, Keegan had a couple of big-time rejections. And so what that shows me is, you're right, block shots doesn't always indicate good defense, but it does, to me, indicate you're not giving up on the play.
Right.
You're staying in it until the very end. And that's what I thought Keegan did a great job with last night. There were a couple times he got beat, but he competed. And even when he got beat, his ability to recover, I thought, was huge last night as well. Those are some of the steps we're seeing in his game, I think.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that everyone's clear on what I mean there, because I know some people say blocking a shot's a great defensive play.
Right.
What I mean is sometimes you have to block the shot because the team didn't play good defense.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great play, but it doesn't mean that you as a team are playing great defense.
Yeah,
That's all I mean.
exactly. And, a couple of those blocks, and Sabonis also, those were send a message kind of blocks too, like where it was like Karch Karai volleyball spiking it, back in the day. And so Keegan had one, I think it was the first half, I do believe. It was on the far side from where I was at, where he got beat. The guy got a step and he recovered and stayed in the play. That's that level of compete that I want to see from these guys. Obviously, you don't want to get beat, but this is the NBA. Guys can get in their bag. These guys are so skilled. So sometimes you are going to get beat, but you have to be able to recover. And I thought Keegan did a good job of that last night.
I know, Kyle, you're focusing on the game and what you got to do and what you got to say. Did you get a sense of how early in the game the Kings were able to take the crowd out of it? Because we've talked about what a great crowd that can be. Wasn't really a factor last night.
Right, yeah, and I thought it was pretty early. They were up by 8 after 1. Then they dropped 40 in that second period. I know they gave up 34 in that second, but, the crowd was out of it. I'd probably say towards the end of the first, middle of the second, really.
Yeah.
They tried to get back into it. The Jazz made that run. Things got a little chippy, but it didn't feel like a raucous atmosphere.
No.
And I think that's because the Kings came out and played so well right from the jump.
Mm-hmm. Statement game? I mean, is it too an overstatement to say the Kings made a statement last night? To me, they did, just because they'd been so up and down and lackluster in the preseason. To me, the statement was, we're serious about this regular season.
Yeah, I think, I forget who said it. I was on the bus headed to the airport, and somebody had said the Kings made a statement to the rest of the West tonight. And so I don't want to go that far in saying that they made a statement. The statement to me that they made is they're not going to regress. They're not going to be worse than what they were last season.
Right.
And so 39, I think 43.5 was the over-under. They're not going to be that bad. Like, this team is much better. I will say the Utah Jazz, they were kind of disappointing.
I agree.
And what I saw, they looked like almost like a bunch of individuals out there. They didn't look like a collective.
Wasn't the opponent I thought the Kings had seen last
exactly.
night.
And so how much credit do I want to give the Kings to that, or just the Jazz just not looking good, not coming together? But it was a little easier than I expected last night.
The problem was saying that the Kings made a statement, and I said it myself, but the problem with that is that's fine, but in the West this year, you're going to have to make a lot of statements.
Right.
You're going to be going to the podium a lot. Right?
You're 100% right. And you got a statement game tomorrow.
Yes.
You got a statement game Sunday, next Wednesday. And so that's why, you can feel good about this Jazz win. Kings fans, we're going to celebrate. The beam was lit. Great. That's all. But to me, the statement is tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's when you can make a statement. You handle business against the Warriors. Then you beat the Lakers. Those are the kind of statements. Every night, like you said, there's a chance in the West to make a statement.
Yeah. Someone on the chat, I know I mentioned this earlier, said the Kings didn't want to start off, I think it was Dwayne, like they did last year. And here's how much worse things could be. Kings with a nice win last night. Wasn't perfect, but a really nice win. Did you see the Chicago Bulls? Not only did they lose, they already had a team
meeting, a players-only meeting already. Like, what is going on out there? And I think you and I discussed this, too. Billy Donovan, I'm not sure if he's going to last the entire year.
He's not.
Like, if he's already losing the control of the team.
He went in there and they said, hey, coach, we're having a meeting. Can we talk?
Okay, guys, I'll be over here.
That's not good.
Like, that is not good. Game 1, and they're already having that kind of meeting. Yeah, that's not good. And so I think keep an eye on Chicago as a team that blows it up. Maybe Levine gets traded.
And I guess Vucevic got into it with Donovan on the bench a little bit.
Exactly. And so Billy Donovan, great college coach. I don't know. It seems like he's already lost that Bulls team.
He did a good job in
in.
OKC, but
Yeah.
Chicago just hadn't got much.
Just
traction.
hasn't got it, and they got
Yeah.
talent. It's just they're probably one of the most underachieving teams in the Eastern Conference, I think.
Yeah, OKC, I think you and I disagree on them. I have them rated higher than you do. They were great last night in that win over the Bulls. I know you're higher on the Suns than I am. The Suns and Lakers we'll see tonight. But Wemby, I think the Wemby thing is going to take some time, and you were working last night. You didn't get to see much, if any, of that game. Dallas had a pretty strong showing in their opener. Dirk Lively played well.
Yeah,
I don't like Dallas, but I'm starting to think they might be worrisome.
Really? You're buying them already after one win against the Spurs.
Hollinger likes them, so you know they're good.
Right. No, they got some talent, and if Lively is playing like that, 31 minutes, 16 points, 10 rebounds off the bench, they're saying they got to move him into the starting lineup. Grant Williams had 17 points last night.
He's a good fit for them.
Yeah, he's a good fit. And so, they won't be awful. I just don't know how far you can go with Luka and Kyrie. Like, Luka's a great player, hit a dagger 3, I thought, last night, because I did watch the end of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I could argue that the Spurs actually lost that game towards the end. I don't know how many people actually watched it, but the Spurs, like their last 5 or 6 possessions, they turned the ball over, took bad shots. Wemby didn't even touch the ball. And so
young team, right?
Young team. So I'm not, Dallas, nice win. You got the W. Kudos to you on the road, but I'm not buying it yet, Whitey. I'm still not buying Kyrie and Luka.
I know the Bucks haven't played yet. They're playing the Sixers tonight, but to me in the East, it's over already. The Celtics are the best team. I think they're the best team in the NBA.
Don't say that, man, because, I used to be a part of the organization.
Yeah,
Those are my guys. But this Porzingis deal.
Yes.
Like, Porzingis might be the second best player on that team based on what I saw last night, right?
They're kind of like, we used to have the super teams, where they would get different players and sign free agents. And they kind of like they might be the last one of those teams.
Yeah. Their only issue is depth. Like, after the top 6 or 7, it falls off tremendously. So if anybody gets hurt, if Porzingis goes down or something like that, they are toast. They are done. But they're scary, man. It's
I didn't know who Derek White was at first. It took me a minute to realize.
No, he's a baller. Yeah, he shaved.
Yeah,
he cut everything off.
Yeah.
He decided, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm not gonna try to play it off anymore. But no, they're tough, man. They are just relentless. They have length too. Like, you got Derek White, you got Drew Holiday out front defensively, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. Like, the length of that team, they're gonna be good. But they've always been good, Whitey. You know that. But then Tatum regresses in the playoffs sometimes, in the biggest of moments. Jaylen Brown, did he work on his left hand? And so for me, I look at the Celtics sort of like how I look at the Niners going into the season. What you do in the postseason is what matters. You can win 58 games. You can win 60 games. It don't mean nothing if you don't get to the championship. Same thing with the Niners. You can win 13, 14 games, but your goal is to get to the Super Bowl. So that's where they are.
True. That's one of the reasons I'm optimistic about him. I think Drew Holiday is a perfect fit for them in some of the ways that they were lacking. We'll see. We won't know for months, to your point. But also, it seems silly to say, but Porzingis was almost like watching him last night, and I knew he was on the team. It's like, oh, yeah, he's on that team too. And he was dominant.
Right, he was dominant. Oh, yeah, like
Porzingis.
4 blocks last night, I think. He had,
that was not
several
an easy
threes.
win for them, but still you could see glimpses of what they could
Right,
be.
right, exactly. And if Porzingis stays healthy, he gives them that perimeter threat, that length, that size. And I was worried about how he would fit in with them. I know he put up big numbers last year in Washington, but everybody does that. Washington is an abyss, right? You go there to get your shots up, but he got enough attempts yesterday. He wasn't just standing in the corner or anything like that.
Speaking of Washington, how many did they give up last night in their opener?
What today? 140 or something like what? The Pacers got like 142 or something like that. It was.
Yeah, they're not going to play a lot of defense there. It was. I thought it was like 145.
Here, I got it. 143.
143.
143 they gave up. They look at 34, 39, 37, 33. I saw that, Whitey, and I looked at the schedule. I'm like, all right, when do the Kings play the Wizards, right?
Yeah.
Like, we might go for 150 in that game. I mean, I'd be licking my chops facing the Washington Wizards.
When we come back, can we just call him Malik Dunk to Drive Guys, Sactown Sports?
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday is looking bright and sunny. A dry day today pairs up with a north breeze about 5 to 10 this afternoon and highs peaking in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to the newest technology with a low payment shop. Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Are you a business owner in need of financing? Then you need Swish Funding, the better way to get the funding you need. Our simple application process takes just minutes with funding as soon as one business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $5,000 to $5 million. If you've been in business for 1 year and have monthly revenue of at least $25,000, you could get the affordable funding you need with no collateral at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Well, Monday Night Football gets 2 teams who need the extra day to prepare. Rough losses for Las Vegas and Chicago last week, and Detroit got worked by Baltimore. As for the Silver and Black, time to find something in the run game. Josh Jacobs now 7 straight games under 4 yards per carry, and it won't be easier this week as Detroit is number 6 against the run. That is your Silver and Black Report. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
The City of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings are 1-0 after a 130-114 victory against the Utah Jazz opening night. Harrison Barnes had 27 first-half points, and the Kings set a franchise opening night record with 13 first-half three-pointers. Brennan Nunez has his 4 takeaways from the game, which you can read right now at SactownSports.com. For the 49ers, Brock Purdy is unlikely to play Sunday. However, Emil Fragoso is reporting from camp that the 49ers quarterback was out on the field today and taking first-team reps. Deebo Samuel has already been ruled out for the game. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of the Drive Guys.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We'll get back to the Kings and Malik Monk in just a moment. First, we got to figure out what is going on with Brock Purdy. By the way, homecoming night for Sacramento State football is Saturday versus Idaho State, the Idaho State Bengals. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early, enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Kyle Draper, Weddy Gleason, and it's been a little bit confusing this week, last couple of days especially, trying to figure out what's up with Brock Purdy. Oh, he's not playing. He might play. He is going to play. It's been we've gotten a lot of conflicting information on this.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Our guy Emil Fragoso is down there at Niners practice today, says he saw Brock Purdy.
Right there,
Oh, yeah, 49ers on NBCS.
Yeah.
You're about to play that right here for me. So he was down there taking first-team reps, non-contact stuff, though, out there today. And I think it was Matt Mayoko who had tweeted out that Purdy has advanced to stage 4 out of the 5 stages to get back into game action, and that's
he looks great. Look at
that. Oh man, Super Bowl right there. He's going to throw 5 touchdowns here. But
attaboy, Brocker.
That's encouraging, though, right? And it's weird. Like 2 days ago, we're like, oh man, they're going to be without Brock this week. Now it's looking like he might give it a go, and so we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, does that change anything in your mind about this game against the Bengals? Obviously, gives them a better chance, but do you think they would still be able to beat the Bengals with Sam Darnold under center?
Hopefully they're not going to have to find out.
Yeah,
probably they'd have a shot. He played really well in the preseason, but let's be honest. And I think I see Sam Darnold kind of through Shanahan's eyes. So I look at him as, wow, he's a guy that could really fit in this system, and he's got a strong arm, but he hasn't been very good, right? And he hasn't played a regular season game with the 49ers. So if that's avoidable, that's a sigh of relief. What's really interesting to me is just the way we're getting some conflicting information. As I said, I had the pleasure of many years working with a gentleman by the name of Mark Kreidler, who, among other things, he was a beat writer for the San Diego Padres years ago. And one of the things I learned from him was, hey, when you're getting information from different sources, you don't know what's going on, pay attention to the beat writers for the team.
Yeah, who are on the ground right there.
Yeah. So Matt Mayoko is the one who's reporting today. Yeah, Brock's on the field. Looks like he has a chance to get through the protocol here. Promising sign. He's the one, Matt Mayoko he's the one who's been saying, Shanahan says there's time for Brock Purdy to get through concussion protocol. For some reason, Adam Schefter is the one who's been saying, well, Sam Darnold's on track to play, and I don't know why.
I was wondering which because we talked before about Schefter's relationship with the Shanahan family.
Yeah.
So you would think any report that maybe he's just trying to keep the Bengals off balance, maybe doing them a solid or something like that. Well, I don't understand, but I agree with you. Matt Mayoko's on the ground. Our guy Emil Fragoso is on the ground. Emil tweeted this out about 19 minutes ago. Purdy will not be at the podium today for his weekly presser, neither will Sam Darnold. So no quarterback is speaking for the Niners this week. And so I don't know if that's, because they don't know, or they don't want to give the Bengals any kind of insight as to who's starting or what. It's kind of a weird situation, right?
Yeah, but I'm going with this. Matt Mayoko says it is a sign that Purdy is progressing through the protocol and appears to be on pace to play in the 49ers game Sunday. So nobody knows for sure,
right?
But it looks like, Adam Schefter paints it like, it looks like it's going to be Sam Darnold. The beat writer for the 49ers, Matt Mayoko, who, by the way, is a great guy, he's saying it appears Brock Purdy is on pace to play. So that's what I'm going with in all this.
And what Mayoko is saying echoes what the head coach has been saying too, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. And so Schefter, I don't know why he sounded the alarms, and got everybody up in arms.
Maybe that's why he knew he could get everybody up in arms.
Right. And got some clickbait a little bit.
Maybe.
No, nobody would do that, right? Schefter wouldn't do that.
Guess if he believed that, it's not that he necessarily was making anything up, but maybe he kind of skewed it a certain way when the reality is, no, it looks like it's going to be the Brock star. Brock Purdy.
Please don't.
Brocky.
Brock star. I tell you what, your boy better deliver this week. He's coming off 2 subpar games in my book. He better deliver this week. You don't say nothing. You're not allowed to talk about Brock Purdy. Oh, he'll be fine. He'll throw 5 touchdowns. He won't throw an interception.
No, the thing is,
you jinxed him last week.
I was afraid we had audio of this, but you mentioned this yesterday when you said Monday, I think. Look, if Brock throws 2 interceptions, I jumped your route right then. I was like, he doesn't do that. And it happened that night.
You jinxed him, you jinxed him. So we'll see, man. I want Brock to be out there. I want him to be healthy. I think this is not only a big game for the Niners, but a big game for him. He needs a bounce-back kind of game.
And I will say this. People say he had 2 bad games in a row. Technically true, but until the interceptions, and I know they were backbreaking, he was having a really good game, in my opinion.
He missed some throws, though. See, Whitey, I can't just look at the box score and say 2 interceptions, he had an awful game, bad game. I thought he missed some throws, a couple of behind, threw behind the receiver a couple of times. We talked about, the lack of arm strength. A couple of times he didn't get it there. And so I don't want to just look at the box score and say, oh, he was 19 of 25. He missed some throws out there.
He did?
I thought
they were still keeping pace. Unfortunately, he had the opportunity here to show that he could do something that a lot of people say he can't do. People like you. And look, he didn't do it, so you're right. But they were playing from behind, and it was a chance for him to show, we can't play from behind, watch this. And ultimately, he didn't do it. But that's because he had a concussion. That's the only reason.
That's and if he plays Sunday, he's cleared. So
right.
We should expect the same old Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, MVP candidate. Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan's guy. And it's funny because somebody tweeted, I forget who it was.
If he throws 2 more interceptions, Kyle Shanahan's going to drag him into the booth.
Right.
He's getting right. Sam, where's Sam?
Exactly, because we know Kyle Shanahan, he's kind of impatient when it comes to some QBs. And that's the one thing in his system you can't do is turn the ball over Brock Purdy.
You're right. Yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were talking about something that someone tweeted.
Yeah, somebody tweeted to those lines what I was just saying. Like Shanahan's, notoriously impatient when it comes to quarterbacks. And we'll see, how he is this week with Brock Purdy. Like Brock has to have a bounce back game, and so especially with no Debo, because those people, including me, we got ammunition these last couple of weeks. See, without his stars, he regresses a little bit. And so this is a big week, I think, for him.
Did you see Shanahan's reaction when he threw the second interception? It was classic Shanahan.
Yes.
Because it was like, like rolling his eyes like, he did it again.
Right.
I can't believe he did it again. Almost like it was an affront to Shanahan.
Yes.
Right?
Like, it's
how could he do that to me?
He takes it personal, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like almost a parent being let down by their kid.
Yes.
Like the level of disappointment and disgust that you feel.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't believe you did that, Johnny. And that's what Shanahan is.
I thought this guy was better than the rest of them. Yeah. By the way, Jimmy Garoppolo, I guess, is going to play this week. So I guess Josh McDaniel says he's optimistic that Jimmy G's going to play, and a lot of Raider fans are saying he's the only one that's optimistic about that. There's nothing to be optimistic about if Jimmy G's back in the line.
And I don't know what they're doing with their quarterback situation. Obviously, Brian Hoyer, we know, is not the answer. is it time that they punt and make Aiden O'Connell, give him some reps? Or you paid that much money for Jimmy G, you bring him in, like he has to be the guy.
It's time to get the tanks out, start rolling, right? Isn't it? If you're the Raiders, if you're the coach, you don't want to do that. But don't you think I don't think Mark Davis thinks that way. It's like, we have a chance to be in the playoffs, and the record's not that bad. But wouldn't that be the best option for them?
I think so.
Yeah,
but
caving for Caleb?
Right, but the one problem is McDaniels is coaching for his job right now, probably. And so, as crazy as it is to say, Jimmy G gives him the best chance to win games right now.
I know we said this yesterday, and it's fairly obvious, but if the 49ers don't win this week, all of a sudden they could be in a dogfight.
A whole heap of trouble
in the NFC West. Forget about the NFC.
Yeah.
Talk about the NFC West.
Yeah, and still 2 games left to go. And the Seahawks have a big game at home against the Browns. And so Niners lose, Seahawks win. Now you're a game behind Seattle, who you don't respect at all for some reason. My guy Pete Carroll got his squad ready to go. And so, no, this is a big game going into the bye week. Get healthy. I mean, you win this game. Don't you feel better over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah,
if you're the Niners,
really need right now. They
you
need
one.
some positive things
for sure
happening. When we come back, Malik Monk's dunk and where it ranks among some of the best in Sacramento Kings history. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
When your people are ready, your business is ready. Cintas makes sure they have what they need to perform their best. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, fire protection systems that are tested and inspected, first aid and safety supplies, floor mats, or cleaning tools and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together, so visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Igor, my faithful companion, it is time to prepare for the night. The shadows grow long, and the creatures of the night stir with excitement.
Yes, Master Dracula. What do you require of me?
I need you to fire up the hearse. Elk Grove Kia is having a Halloween sale that is to die for. We're going to upgrade you a new car worthy of the Prince of Darkness. I'm so excited. It is making my blood shiver.
But Master, with your credit history, aren't you worried you're going to get turned down?
Igor, shut up. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of experience. They can even get me approved, even with my troubled past. And Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on all new Kias It's almost like having an immortal car.
Elk Grove Kia's Halloween sale is so good, it's scaring the competition. In fact, it's so scary, we can't even advertise the pricing. So whether you're in need of a new or used car, make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or visit us at elkgrovekia.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me, I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Here's a Fox steal. Got a breakaway coming up for Sacramento. Chased by Dunn. Drops it to Monk. Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk. That's as good as it gets for Sacramento in transition. Fox with the steal. His former Wildcat and collegiate teammate at the University of Kentucky, Malik Monk, with a big-time hammer to make it 102-82. Biggest lead of the ballgame.
G-Man dropping the hammer. Yeah, your call was sensational last night. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason here. We're just going to have to start calling him Malik Dunk. By the way, when we talked to him on Media Day, because Malik means, I think it's in Arabic, it means king. And I called him, he's the king of the kings. He said, I like that. I like that.
Oh, he said he liked that? Okay,
said,
the king of kings.
Yeah, the king of the kings.
I like that. Okay.
So we're getting a lot of reaction here on the chat to the Malik Monk dunk. And I think so far, a comment of the day comes to us from, let's see, it's CK916. It's okay, I sent Dunn funeral potatoes after the dunk last night. That's a real popular dish in Salt Lake City. Yes. If you heard the program yesterday. So, yeah, very appropriate, CK916. Funeral potatoes for poor Chris Dunn, who wasn't too happy about getting dunked on like that.
No, and not only did he get dunked on, Malik Monk, got up in his face, gave him a little chest, a little added sauce on that. And that was great. And we talked about it earlier. I like that edge. I like that. You know what? Chris Dunn, you're a great defender. You got found a home in Utah, but you know what? You just got put on the poster. And so that's part of basketball, man. You played the game too. Like, things get right. You ain't never dunk on somebody and then give him a shove? Come on, man.
Basketball in the bedroom.
or your little brother or something like that, or a sibling, or my younger sister growing up maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, so I was thinking, where that dunk ranks among some of the great all-time Sacramento Kings dunks. And I also was wondering, well, it's only opening night. Can it really be that big? But it was big because it was opening night after the year, which they finally made the playoffs. And Malik Monk dunked that and did that stare down with intent, with malice in his heart.
Yes, and we talk about making a statement. That dunk was a statement, right? That was a statement not only to Utah, but that was one of those statements that were felt around the NBA that this Kings team is here, man. They're not going to regress or fall back or anything. We put the world on notice last night with that W.
Yeah, there is on the internet. I stumbled across top 10 Sacramento Kings dunks of all time. And it's actually really good. And there's just a few here I want to mention.
Okay.
This is difficult, obviously, when we can't see them. But De'Aaron Fox had one in Miami. Big Kings win in Miami in 2018. The Flying Fox. It was a putback. It was incredible. Yeah, incredible.
I do remember that.
C-Web had one versus Dallas in 99, just kind of coming through the lane, grabbing it with one hand and slinging it down and given, everything going on that year in 99. That was a tremendous dunk. This one surprised me. Didn't remember this. 2017 versus the Celtics. And if I were you, I wouldn't even believe me. If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't believe it. Willie Cauley-Stein had one of the greatest dunks I've ever seen.
I don't remember the play, but I remember the game because I think he had 27 points. Like, he was going off on that. He was the best big man. I'm going to have to look that up because I remember that game vividly. It was the Willie Cauley-Stein game. Yeah.
For a moment there, that night, Willie Cauley-Stein was everything everyone thought he could be.
Right.
And then that was it. Oh, man. And that dunk was incredible. DeMarcus had one in 2013 versus Denver. A lot of his dunks where he was so big, they're just like boom.
Yeah,
but this was some athleticism, throwdown. It was easily his best dunk ever. And then I know we mentioned in a crossover, this was not a very popular player, but Ronnie Price in 2006 over Carlos Boozer. I remember we were sitting there and it was the baseline right where we were sitting, and he threw one down. It was one of those dunks that was so surprising because the guy goes up and the last thing you think is going to happen is that.
Yeah.
And then boom. And that's kind of what Monk's was last night for me, because you get the drop off, then he goes up. It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
And he rears it back.
And he said it with his chest too, right? Like it was a little force with his chest. He rears it back, like you said, and then he threw his chest into it almost. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't like he got a running start, right?
Right.
It was more a drop off and to go up
And
like
then just
that.
like
look out, break it up, and good night, Mr. Dunn. Here are your funeral potatoes. Extra crispy. That was an amazing dunk. It really, really was.
That was an amazing dunk. And, when you say a statement dunk, that's the poster child for it right there. Malik Monk. It was like he was taking out all the frustration, letting the world know, sending the message to the entire Western Conference, and it was tremendous. It was a great dunk.
Mm-hmm. And he really, I know I keep saying this, but the more I watch him and having talked to him, the more I realize he is really a tone setter for this team.
Yes.
He comes off the bench without complaint and plays well. And he's barking at teammates and he's helping keep things organized. And he's totally bought into the notion. He's the one that always says it. Mike Brown shows us, if we win, we all win. And he embodies that.
He embodies that. And, he sacrifices. Think about it. We've talked about Kevin Huerter's starting spot. Not once have we really talked about should Malik become a starter. Not once has he raised the idea. Like, he accepts his role and he thrives on it. And, he was the second best player for the Kings in the postseason. Remember, he averaged 19 points per game last postseason against the Warriors. So he elevated his game, and that's what we need, And I just was watching SportsCenter's Top 10. That dunk was number one on SportsCenter's Top. That was the best play in the NBA last night.
By the way, sidebar, there was one other dunk that was on this video, and it was a Gerald Wallace dunk against the Rockets. It was amazing. But as I recall, I could be wrong, I think it might have been in the preseason. I remember he had a dunk in the preseason that made it onto a commercial.
Wow.
It was that good. But to me, it's like, I'm sorry, it's a preseason.
That can't be the dunk of the year in preseason.
No, it's a great dunk, but it's a whole different thing when, there's more at stake.
This is like Summer League. You can't have a
It's a great dunk.
For Summer League, right.
So
I get it.
Yeah, honestly think that might have been, you could make a strong case that was the greatest dunk in Sacramento Kings history last night.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's Sacramento Kings. Well, I guess back in the day, we didn't see a whole lot. Jerry Lucas wasn't doing no 360s or anything like that. But wow, you might be right.
Top five.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any question.
And it wasn't just the dunk; it was the whole how it all came about. De'Aaron Fox coming up with the ball, setting up Chris Dunn, and then just dropping it off. It was a perfectly executed play.
I got to ask you this.
Yeah,
we had this discussion on our podcast. My brother Phantom and Jerry Reynolds, we were talking about smaller guys who dunked. And I happen who's the best small guy dunking? And I happen to mention, and Jerry laughed at me for this. I said, Byron Scott. And he said, what?
B. Scott had some ups. He did.
Yeah.
He did. I remember Byron. He had some ups, no doubt about that. Nate Robinson was a dunker.
Jerry mentioned former King, of course, Spud.
Spud, of course. Let me digress here. Go off script here. I'm looking at the YouTube chat, and trust me, I watch it sometimes, people.
Yeah.
Greg says, so we hate on Purdy, but the Kings can do no wrong. I'd love to see you call them out when they lose. Shut up, Greg. We celebrating right now. Hush up, man. There's nothing to call out right now. And, Whitey, if I'm correct, We've been calling out the defense all day.
We actually have.
We have. So, Greg, go ahead with yourself, man. Don't be salty because your squad lost 2 in a row.
I did not hate on Purdy, by the way. I do not hate on Brock Purdy.
And neither do I. Look, neither do I.
Wow.
Oh, man. Rockstar.
Thanks for being with us, Greg.
I appreciate you watching, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So your best small dunker would be Nate Robinson?
I'd have to think about it.
Oh,
I'd
who was the Celtic guard? D. Brown.
D. Brown,
won
yes.
the dunk contest?
Yes. My guy D. Brown. Yes, he's up there. Who else? Man, after the break, I'm going to give you my guy. I'll give you my number one top small dunker in the NBA.
All right. When we come back, would you believe somebody on ESPN says the Kings could win the NBA championship? What is going on here? Is anything real in the world anymore? That's next. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening with Ram Power Days?
We love American muscle, and right now is the last call on new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challenger SXTs before they're gone, with lease payments as low as $399.
What about all those Ram trucks I see?
Save thousands with 0% financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew Cabs. And we all know 0% financing is almost impossible to find in 2023.
These deals can't last long, so hurry into Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and see their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Take 0% financing for 72 months plus $6,000 dealer discount. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $13.89 per thousand borrowed. Lease new 2023 Dodge Charger or Challenger SXT for $399 a month for 42 months with $49.95 due at signing plus tax, license fees, and any accessories. Offer subject to credit approval through U.S. Bank with 10,000 allowable miles per year. 25 cents per mile excess mileage charge. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
How far do you hit your 7-iron? Writer Josh Sens says it has implications for your enjoyment of the game as well as your pace of play. In a survey of 700 PGA and LPGA professionals, they say roughly 75% of female golfers and 50% of males play from distances that exceed their ability. Rounds are time-consuming and the game becomes less fun. The PGA, LPGA, and USGA spent years crunching numbers, surveying players, and reached guidelines based on your 7-iron distance. If you hit your 7-iron 140 yards, best course length is 5,900 to 6,100 yards. If your 7-iron goes 125 yards, play from 5,400 to 5,600 yards. If you bash your 7-iron 170 yards, play wherever you want. On a recent golf trip to Grey Eagle, the G-Man Gary Gerald and I moved up a tee and thoroughly enjoyed ourselves hitting greens and putting for birdies. Give it a try and see if you don't have more fun. But the putting, well, that's on you. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings are 1-0 after a 130-114 victory against the Utah Jazz opening night. Harrison Barnes had 27 first-half points, and the Kings set a franchise opening night record with 13 first-half three-pointers. Brennan Nunez has his 4 takeaways from the game, which you can read right now at SactownSports.com. For the 49ers, Brock Purdy is unlikely to play Sunday. However, Emil Fragoso is reporting from camp that the 49ers quarterback was out on the field today and taking first-team reps. Deebo Samuel has already been ruled out for the game. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of the Drive Guys.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We're with you till about 4:30 today. That's when we get you ready for Thursday Night Football, featuring 2 of the NFL's current teams. We're so involved in basketball right now. Sheena, we mentioned this earlier. My wife asked me today, who's playing football tonight? I don't know. But it is, of course, the Bills and the Bucks tonight. So anything can happen, and usually does when they get together, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, huge matchup. Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, and I would say a must-win for Buffalo. Buffalo's on the clock right now. They have not looked good at all this season. Josh Allen has looked bad as well.
Brock Purdy's outplaying him.
No, he is.
So much.
It's ridiculous, man. And you look at Buffalo right now, a game behind the Dolphins. Tampa Bay, there's no sizzle right there with Tampa Bay.
Nah.
They might be the worst. You know how they got NBA League Pass, NFL Red Zone, Direct TV ticket, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, there may not be a team least appealing to me.
They're not very watchable right now.
Yeah,
not
than
a lot
the
of
Tampa Bay
watchability.
Buccaneers. I'm just like, Buffalo, though, I'm still interested in. Yeah. This is a big game.
All right. Then we got basketball tonight, too, of course. We don't have it here on Sactown Sports, but the Lakers and the Suns.
Yeah, but Phoenix, 2 guys. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's load management, or is Brad Beal's back and Devin Booker, I forget what his issue was. Toe.
It is.
Why are you so angry at that? It's the toe. Like,
I mean,
this isn't load management, right?
It's his foot. If you say it's his foot or his ankle, it just seems like it's easier to stomach than his toe. Well, they said before the before the Warrior game, Devin Booker might not play because of his toe.
Right.
He played, and his toe looked fine to me.
May have aggravated it, though,
Whitey.
Whitey. May have aggravated. You know how it is. Next day, it might swell up on him or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm driving in. I'm listening to NBA radio, and they're having this long discussion about load management. We don't know if this is load management. I know Devin Booker. I don't know him that well, but from what I could tell, he's not a guy that would, dodge the smoke.
Booker. It's just discouraging when, as a fan, I get sucked into all this talk about how, all right, player participation policy, we're an 82-game league, and then, all right, the season's starting. These are big primetime games. Bradley Beal hasn't played yet.
He got it back.
I know, but
he got it back.
I thought that everybody was playing, and then it's the second game of the year. No Beal and no Devin Booker. Okay.
The worst will be if Frank Vogel comes out and says, now, if it was a playoff game, they could have been, no, Coach, don't say that. Trust me. Don't say that, Coach. You can't do that anymore,
You know
right?
what they should do? I think you guys had the graphic last night, you and Katie and the crew. Harrison Barnes was one of three guys that played? There's got to be a special award or some sort of cash reward. If you play all 82 games now, we are going to just put you on a pedestal and celebrate you.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards, I think, was one of those guys, and I'm drawing a blank.
Looney typically
is usually on that list as well. I got it right here. Let me pull it up here. One of three, Vucevic and Mikal Bridges.
Oh, okay.
Last year,
good for them.
Yeah. Second time HB's played all 82 games, and so they talk about the best availability. You know, another reason why Harrison Barnes is valuable to this team. He's durable. He's always out there.
Why do Kings fans not always appreciate him?
Don't
like I said, he's like the Jimmy Garoppolo of the. He's better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's better. I think, if I'm being honest, and this may upset some fans. Fans don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like let's just keep. They don't know basketball. No offense, Kings fans, but some of you guys out there.
Why would that offend anybody?
Some of y'all just pick up a box score. Oh, Harrison Barnes only had 14 tonight. Harrison Barnes is a player that goes deeper than the box score. His value is so much deeper. Harrison Barnes empowers De'Aaron Fox. Harrison Barnes is a leader in the locker room, and so I think everybody wants Harrison Barnes to be 20-point per game, Harrison Barnes, 22-point per game.
I think that's what Kings fans thought they were getting.
Maybe, but he only had the one season in Dallas in which he was great. I think it was 21 points per game. What he is, mark him down, 15, 16 points per game a night. I said it during the broadcast last night, too, when the Jazz were making their run. What happened? They got it to Harrison Barnes. He gets to the line for two.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things. The stopper.
Run
stopper. Those things can't be understated, overstated. Like this guy brings so much. And I think fans get caught up in stats and numbers. It's like it's NBA 2K or fantasy or something like that. And they don't realize not everybody can be a 25-point per game scorer. You can't have a starting five where everybody averages 25. You need guys that know their role, and Harrison plays his extremely well.
Sure played well last night. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's talk to Jesus, who's been hanging on. Jesus, you're on with Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, the Drive Guys. What's up?
Hey, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Hello.
I was wondering your opinion on something that's been bothering me since last season. Carmichael Dave kept referring to Domas Sabonis as Nikola Light in terms of Nikola Jokic. That always bothered me because while I do understand the reference he's trying to say he's a downscaled version of Nikola Jokic, it also sort of implied that he was a lesser player or a lesser value of talent, which I think is disparaging. Wouldn't it be better to use a term like Diet Nikola, which sort of makes Domas the aspirational player to be? If Jokic could only slim down, he would be a Domas. And it also employs his name to continue the beverage reference.
Maybe so, Jesus. Thank you.
Jesus, serious
Great
about
call.
this.
First of all, Carmichael Dave has been bothering me for a lot longer.
Right.
than a year. But I mean, I understand where he's going there. As long as you're comparing him to Nikola, any which way you're doing it to Jokic, you're kind of belittling him in a way, criticizing him. You're pointing, well, if you say he's Sabonis, but as soon as you say he's diet Jokic or Jokic light, you're basically saying, well, he's not as good as that guy. So the whole,
but he's not, right? Like,
yeah, but why do you have to frame it that way? That's like framing a quarterback saying, he's Mahomes light. Of course he is. Every quarterback is Mahomes. Right. Jokic is the best player in the world.
Here's my opinion on this. I get what you're saying. What if he was a rookie or something like that? Then you could say, I think it comes a point where Domas is his own person. Like, he's reached a level now where he doesn't need to be compared to Jokic. Like, if you're a rookie and, this guy coming in, he's Jokic light. Then you're like, oh man, you know. But Domas has reached a point in his career where he doesn't have to be a light to anybody.
You're probably right. Dave I don't pretend to understand how Dave thinks, but he probably looks at it as a compliment, right? Like,
right. That's what I think he's trying to.
Best player in the world, and Sabonis is like a Jokic light. But to me, as soon as you're comparing a guy to another guy, you're saying
that's what it implies, right? He's good, but he's not that guy. Like, I get it. But anytime you try to figure out anything Carmichael Dave says or does,
you're asking for trouble.
Right? Exactly. You're going down the Looney Tune path right there. So,
and I understand the comparison, but to me, I don't see those two guys as being that similar. Am I wrong?
I think in the passing ability,
sure,
yes, but Jokic is unstoppable. And he could shoot the three as well. And so I think, when it comes to playmaking, you got two centers who, get triple doubles, averages better than 7-8 assists per game. And so I could see the comparison, but I think that's where it stops.
Yeah.
The passing ability.
I think it's an effort calling him Jokic light to try to boost him, but I think ultimately you end up doing just the opposite, in my opinion. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come right back with the ESPN analyst who says the Kings could actually win it all this year. Can that be true? It's next when we come right back with the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Your flagship station for the Beam team, Sactown Sports.
It's great, all the comments we're getting here as we celebrate, among other things, Malik Monk's dunk last night. The number of people that remember that Ronnie Price dunk, because that was 2006, and Ronnie Price, not a big name. But that dunk was that emphatic and that memorable that still people go, oh, yeah, the Ronnie Price dunk.
I looked it up, too, and Boozer went sprawling.
Look out,
he went sprawling to the ground. That was emphatic, no doubt.
Yeah. What was going through your mind last night when you saw Monk rise up and rear back with that ball?
I was thinking Malik Monk is really trying to hurt somebody out here. Like, he's like, really, I don't know what's going on in his personal life or anything, but like, that was an angry, vicious dunk. That was one of those, I'm tired of your nonsense out here in Salt Lake City. You ain't got no good restaurants for me, no good food. The funeral potatoes were cold at the pregame meal. So he was on one last night. He was pissed off about something and took it out on Chris Dunn.
He wasn't trying to physically hurt someone. He was trying to bruise someone's soul.
Yes.
Sense of
being. Yes.
Homecoming night for Sac State football Saturday versus Idaho State. Kickoff 6 p.m. Come early, enjoy the festivities. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. On the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 from the 916. And maybe what you said about Kings fans resonated with some of them, Kyle. Here's a Kings fan, and I wish you put your name on it. It says, some of us fans recognize that Harrison brings a lot of the intangibles, and then in the games, he seems to have a knack of providing the things the Kings are missing on any given night.
Thank you. And that's what I'm talking about. I think last night, Harrison Barnes, he sort of, set the tone in that game, knock it down to threes, playing tough defense, getting the defensive player of the game chain. And so HB is not going to always lead you in scoring, but one thing we know, he's going to be prepared. He's going to be ready to play. He's going to be available. He's going to play great defense. Let's not forget, most of the time, Harrison Barnes has to guard the opposing team's best player. He's asked to do that, and he does a great job.
Now, do you think this is true? Kyle Compio suggested Barnes heard and saw all the tweets saying he should be traded. He showed his pride and professionalism last night.
I don't know if he did, but whatever motivated him, let's do it again tomorrow night against Golden State. I'm not sure if Harrison is reading tweets or anything like that.
What I heard is that Compio's cousin went to his house and
shit.
read him, knocked on the door. Harrison came to the door and he read him all the tweets.
Oh, my gosh. Compio. That's hilarious. But no, give HB credit, please. Like, to me, what he did last night earns him 10 games of I don't care how he plays. I don't want to hear nothing, Kings fans, about Harrison Barnes.
Derek Vercelli, I stood up after the dunk, held my youngest son back with one arm, and just looked at him with a nasty look on my face like this man is bad. We were so pumped, we chest bumped afterwards. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Derek chest bumping with his kid.
How old his kid is.
I know, right? No, that was dunk heard round the world last night from our guy, Malik Monk.
Speaking of respect, the Kings actually got some respect today from Jay Williams, talking on ESPN this morning about which teams in the NBA actually have a chance to win an NBA title. Here's ESPN's and former NBA star and former Duke star, right? Jay Williams.
Yes.
Denver is the favorite. We all know that. Yes. Sacramento got the best odds, in my opinion, to contend for a championship more than any other team in the Western Conference other than Denver.
Other than Denver?
Other than Denver.
That's it? Sacramento over both LA squads?
Yes.
And Phoenix?
Yes.
Oh,
that was Stephen A. You might see it that way.
A little theatrics. What do you make of that? Because I love the national guy giving us some love. And if I'm the Kings, why not us?
And he's a guy that definitely knows basketball.
Right. He knows the game. He played at a high level. I still got the Kings probably behind Phoenix and Denver. But, Phoenix, they're old. They're long in the tooth with Kevin Durant. You got to monitor the injury situation. If the Kings play like they did last night, they could beat anybody. I mean, they were a well-oiled machine, especially offensively. Got to improve defensively. But I love the fact that more national people are starting to, take notice. Like, no, this Kings team is for real.
Mm-hmm. I'm not buying it, but it's just great that actually someone with some credibility is suggesting that.
Right.
Right. If that makes me a bad fan or whatever, okay. But I don't, they've got so many things to figure out defensively, as their coach well knows and is reminding them every day. It's hard for me to see it that way, but hey, they're literally in that conversation, at least as far as Jay Williams is concerned. And I mean, considering where this whole thing was just a year ago, that's awesome.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. Where it was a year ago, this team started 0-4, they still had the playoff drought. I will say, though, as much as I like Jay Williams hyping us up, I don't look to ESPN or any national outlet to approve of what we do. I know what I see night in and night out from this Sacramento Kings team. You guys out there listening know what you see night out and with this Kings team. We don't have to beg Jay Williams or Stephen A. Smith or anybody to come to our side. Hey, look at us. Trust me, tomorrow night against Golden State, all eyes will be on Kings Warriors. That's an ESPN game. That's an NBC Sports California game with me and Katie. Our guy G-Man will have the call here on Sactown Sports 1140. We talk about statements made last night. Tomorrow, the world will know. And so we don't have to, look to Jay Williams or look to see who's still a doubter. Everybody will see tomorrow night what this Kings team can do.
How important do you think, honestly, this game is for the Kings players? You win, that's great. You lose, it's early in the season, but how much after everything they went through last year in the postseason and then the offseason, how big is this game tomorrow night to the Kings players?
I think it's huge because there will come a point, if you keep losing to the Warriors, that doubt starts to set in. And I think, we need to send a message tomorrow. Steph Curry, Golden State, Draymond, they feel like they're in your head now. They feel like, they're your daddy, It's like, who's your daddy? Well, right now the Warriors are. And
with
so
Steph.
Right. Like the beam and all that. And the night, you got to put Steph Curry to sleep tomorrow. Do it back to him after the game tomorrow night. And so I think it's a huge game because it's sort of like, and you'll remember this, I'm going way back, Jerry West against the Boston Celtics. He could never get over the hump and beat the Celtics, as great of a player as he was. And so the mark on his career is he could never beat the Celtics. Obviously, we're not at that point, but at some point you got to beat the Warriors, right? In a game that actually matters. And why not opening night?
Plus, there's just the fact that as a competitor, you just want to beat them.
Yes. This is a team you're fighting for position with. I know it's early. I know it's only game 2, but this is a team that come April, they're going to be right there on your heels battling, and that's why these games are so important early on.
I also think it's important to take advantage of this opportunity. Draymond's not playing. Think what you will of Draymond. He's an amazing defender. No Draymond. They're still figuring some things out with Chris Paul, Wiggins. I mean, Steve Kerr said after the opener, Wiggs is not quite there yet. He didn't finish the game for them. So you have a team that's still figuring things out. They're a lot more vulnerable than they were when you faced them in the playoffs. So you need to take advantage of that on your home floor.
Right. This is not a whole Warriors team right now. And, they're still trying to institute Chris Paul. That's going to take a little bit more adjustment. Like, it is ripe. The weather's perfect for it. The atmosphere, the calendar, everything is ripe for a Kings win tomorrow. And so I think, they need to get it for themselves and also this fan base. This fan base needs to beat the Warriors tomorrow because the last thing I want to do is walk out of that arena and hear from Warriors fans and I'm tired of it. It's our turn to get this W.
Yeah, it seems like for Kings fans, you've got the Lakers and Warriors and which team is more reviled as a rival. It may be the Warriors may have topped the Lakers. That is baked in.
Yes.
That distaste for the Lakers has been baked in over generations.
Right.
But I think that Warrior rivalry is actually bubbling to the surface.
Like present day, right now, at this minute, if you were to ask Kings fans, who's the team you hate the most? Depending on how old you are, I'm sure Lakers, but right now, this is the more heated rivalry. Lakers, sure, it's a rival, but you want to beat them. You like to celebrate when they lose. But I think now it's become personal sort of with the Warriors. The proximity, tons of fans of theirs, the neighbors, people in your own family might be Warriors fans. And the thing about Warriors fans, and they sort of remind me of Lakers fans during those Kobe Shaq eras as well, the arrogance of them. And so that's what we're seeing from Warriors fans right now and the players, that arrogance right now.
But that's a trap. And you're right. And I know last time I mentioned this, you agreed with me. Steph Curry wouldn't be doing light the beam or night to the Kings if they didn't realize, wow, this is a good team. So they know that with all those antics and with Draymond saying things like, we respect them, almost like a pat on the head, They know that the Kings are hearing that, and it makes the Kings angry. And it's just something that can be a distraction and distract you from what you need to do to beat them, making you think about how badly you want to beat them so you can't focus on all that.
And now De'Aaron Fox is in business with Steph Curry. That might have been Steph's master plan, right?
Yeah.
Let me give De'Aaron Fox a couple of million here so he won't try and beat us on opening night.
Yeah. So De'Aaron, as long as he beats the bejeebies out of Steph and the Warriors tomorrow night, then we don't have an issue with
I don't have an issue.
Right?
He needs to be the best player on the floor tomorrow. You talk about a player who needs to win this game more than anybody. To me, De'Aaron Fox, he should hate the Warriors more than anybody. He should be ready to come out there and make a statement tomorrow against Steph Curry.
We're going to be making our statement tomorrow from the Golden One Center. So we'll be with you from the arena tomorrow, and then Kyle will have the call tomorrow night on NBC Sports California. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Big game. ESPN's in the building. NBC Sports Bay Area is going to be there.
The eyes of the basketball world.
Yes, everybody will be watching this game, the nationally televised. That's why I think our guys need to show out. Foxy, you're on the clock. Tomorrow night has to be your game.
Looking forward to it. We'll be with you tomorrow, and stay tuned for Thursday Night Football. It's the Bills and the Buccaneers next right here on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars, and all